desk. Sunnydale is gonna rule!
Hey everybody, and welcome to episode 71 of GrrArghCast, the only Buffy and Angel podcast that doesn't have spoilers. So if you've never seen the show before, we're not going to tell you what happens unless we accidentally do, which we do all the time. I am Brandon Ellison.
And I'm Jewel Rocket Rose, au natural.
Yes,
today.
Jewel and I had a day, but like not a bad day,
no,
just
it was
a day.
Just a very long
We're also in the
day.
same room, which rarely happens. Jewel called me yesterday. I'll tell half the story, you tell the other half. Jewel called me and she's like, I have to drive back from LA to Vegas and I'm having like muscle problems, aches and things. And I was like, oh, too bad. And I was going to watch like Hulu documentaries all night and get stoned. And Jewel was like, can you fly to LA and drive back to Vegas with me? And I thought for a second, like, how upset would I be if I wasn't friends with Jewel anymore? But I realized...
It never would have happened, by the way, but I called him in a panic. You guys, so this is... my body was just... I know this... Not everyone believes in chiropractors and shit, but my body was out of alignment. Like, my skeletal structure, my hips were hurting so badly. My lower back was killing me.
It's because Neptune was in retrograde.
Whatever Neptune was doing, he was fucking with my body. And then when I woke up yesterday morning, my fingers were like numb, kind of.
And I'm just like, Jewel is straight up having a stroke.
I'm obviously like, why? I went to the doctor. I'm not having a stroke. I'm fine. Knock on all the woods. But listen, I am in pain, and I was like, I'm not going to be able to do that drive back by myself. I just did that drive on Wednesday. My body hasn't recovered. I have not rested at all, so I'm going to fall apart. And so Brandon, so gracious, great driver, bought him a ticket, and I was like, please get on the plane. Please get on the plane. Yeah. And he did.
Yeah. And so I flew in, and here we are.
He did. He flew in, and we left my house at 4 o'clock this morning and drove to Vegas. We were here by 9 a.m.
Yes, it was a mess. But we're here, and we're sort of alive, and everything's kind of cool.
But he is the best person ever. You guys, he drove all the way with me. We changed halfway, and he drove my car, and I don't trust anyone to drive my car, and I trust him, you guys.
And we stopped at the biggest gas station in
we did.
North
and
America.
How much I bought every gummy available. I bought how many packets of dried apricots did I buy?
2, and they were $2 each. It was a good price.
I also brought like a carafe of drinks. You guys, sometimes you just have to go shopping to soothe your nerves.
We have a guest host this episode. We haven't had a guest host in a while, but we're gonna talk about Tim James. So Tim is my good buddy. We met in. You click on that.
I'm gonna add him to the stream.
Tim.
Hi.
Tim and I met in Puerto Vallarta through random homosexuals.
Chance encounter.
Through casual encounters on Craigslist because we went in a time machine.
Well, not that casual. Although maybe.
And Tim became like my buddy down there. We would play video games and play with puppies.
Well, we were even roommates for a short period of time.
That's true. Yeah, when you booked an Airbnb that turned out to be a disaster.
Oh my God, it was a disaster. But you just swooped in, you saved the day, and there was puppies galore.
Always save the day.
I mean, I just heard he gave you a little. You guys had a road trip together.
We had a road trip this morning.
Yeah.
And he carried my bags inside for me. He's such a gentleman.
Such a sweetheart.
How am I single?
But he did make me go on this podcast without makeup. Which is, you guys, this is, wow. I don't even have moisturizer on. This is a day.
Look.
I mean, that's why we have the beauty filter, right?
Well, thank you, Naomi.
And Jewel starts every episode of our show with compliments about herself from our viewers. That's like her favorite thing. So Jewel is in charge of the comments right now, and she's putting the comments up. And I guarantee you, 100% of the comments are going to be about how cute she is.
Oh, I mean,
Oh my god, I want some cute comments.
Yeah, guys, come on. Tim needs some compliments.
I
don't need
wore
compliments because I won't believe any of them.
a tinted moisturizer just for you guys
You
today.
did. And as a ginger,
I
You're
did.
showing me up.
yes.
You're showing me up. Oh, by the way,
I mean, if I'm gonna be the guest, I have to do it right.
I tried to put this up for him, but I put the wrong one. But an even better one. Thank you.
This
Oh my
is going to
God.
be great for our listening audience that doesn't watch the video. So there's a whole bunch of compliments
Oh my
about Jewel coming up, and then someone commented Tim's pecs. And Tim, you do have amazing tits.
You do.
Yeah.
I hear that.
Oh my god. Well, I did just do a chest workout today, so
And
I got pumped up just for your fans.
For those of you who couldn't tell, Tim is Canadian.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
occasionally
actually
he's
an
gonna
online
say-
trainer. 60 days like that.
Sorry. Occasionally he's going to say things like a chest workout, and we just have to deal with it.
Did I do a Canadianism?
It's okay. I love it.
I didn't even hear it.
It was there. So Tim, you can follow on Instagram, and Tim does like body
Fat loss
workouts,
coaching. Yeah.
60-day six-pack. So follow him. It's like body workouts for men, which I'm clearly a client.
Yeah. So it's a fat loss coaching, meal plans, diet plans, all that great stuff. I really help you dial it in and lose a bunch of weight in 60 days. That's what I'm all about.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Nice. My 60-day diet plan is to hopefully get hit by a truck and slowly decompose. Problem
Really?
solved. Finally at my goal weight.
Out of control, Brandon. Never. I would never let you leave me
Nothing like a
that.
slow decomposition for like a really healthy weight loss transfer.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And the reason we have Tim on is, first of all, because we love Tim. You can put his Insta away now.
Okay, thank
We'll
you.
come back to it.
Sorry.
The reason we have Tim on is twofold. First of all, because I love Tim. And Tim, you're a Buffy fan like a long time ago, right?
Oh, honey, I've been watching Buffy since it very first aired on TV. I remember going to school in grade 6, and I would talk to my friend Lana, and she was the cool girl. She was the cool girl, and it was the only time she would talk to me. We would talk about what happened on Buffy last night. And I didn't know I was gay at the time, but I mean, all the signs were there.
I tell the story about a girl named Amber that I went to middle school with, and she was like in love with me, and she would take the Buffy books from B. Dalton bookstore, and she would rip the covers off and steal them and give them to me as gifts because she thought that the little sensors at the door read the barcodes. So if there was no barcode.
Okay, but somehow she still got through it. Oh, speaking of Buffy books, do you guys have Scholastic book orders, or is that a Canadian thing?
We had Scholastic book fairs.
Oh, yeah, we had the fairs too.
Yeah.
So I had the unauthorized Buffy like biography about like all of the cast members and everything. And it did have like the center part where it was just like full color pictures. It was like a big deal
like
back
glossy
then.
photos
Yes,
of like David Boreanaz.
Oh my god, David Boreanaz. Like, sign me up for that, please. Although maybe not so much.
Angel, the Spy fan.
Okay, so I went back and forth, but when all is said and done, David Boreanaz for me.
Fair.
It has to be.
Jill hates the character of Angel, the show of Angel, and David Boreanaz.
Well, you know what? Upon rewatch, I do kind of hate the character of Angel. Like, he's a little bit too soft for me.
Creepy.
He's soft and boring.
Yeah, I mean, he is, but also, I mean, he did open up the gates of hell, right? So, gotta give him points for that.
But, like, he was bad.
No,
then.
Angelus was great.
Yeah.
Angel sucks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was bad, and then Buffy had to kill him to.
I mean, he did. Was there ever an episode where he didn't just like cry randomly for no reason?
And there's still not. Yeah, he cries constantly. We're watching, so we like alternate Buffy and Angel. And the Angel episodes that we're on, he is so whiny right now.
Ugh.
And it has been for like a whole season.
Just shut up. I'm over it.
Anyway, before we start talking about our show, we like to talk about like the things that we've been watching or listening to or reading or consuming this week. Have you been watching any shows or anything? Movies? Tim?
Oh my god, what have I been watching? I just watched the movie To Wong Fu. Have you seen that one?
Yes.
Oh my god,
To
just watched it. Used to be one of my favorites.
With
Bobby
Patrick
Ray,
Swayze
Bobby Ray.
and John Leguizamo and Wesley Snipes.
Yes.
Oh,
And
you
Stalker
mean Chichi
Channing.
Rodriguez?
Yes.
Oh, it died.
Oh my god.
Stalker Channing, Blythe Danner's in that movie. Like, that's a good cast.
Yes.
my
Yes.
God.
Little Latin boy in drag. Why are you crying?
Oh my gosh, Noxzema.
To Wong Fu is so good.
Oh my god. It's
And
and you know what? You know what? I was reading that at the time, like Hollywood was like, this is a last resort for these actors. Their careers are over. And everyone was like trash talking them, saying like, oh, they have to stoop so low to dress like drag queens. For those who don't know, To Wong Fu is a movie where Wesley Snipes and Patrick Swayze and John Leguizamo are drag queens and they're gay. Very convincingly as well, I must say.
And they're doing a competition, and that's how they all meet, because Wesley Snipes and Patrick Swayze tie. And so instead of taking their 2 first-class tickets and flying to LA for the big competition or some big presentation, I don't know, they're going to LA for something.
Yeah, because RuPaul is the host.
Yeah, it was like the original Drag Race.
Yes. That. Okay, so instead of doing that, they traded in, got a car, and drove across the country.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and they have all these adventures, and they stop in this tiny little town because, of course, the car breaks down.
Right.
Yeah.
And so Jewel has been working. So Jewel, have you watched anything? You watched 2 Buffy episodes today.
I watched 2 Buffy episodes today. I caught up on Beverly Hills Housewives, and thank you, Tim. It is not appreciated around these parts as much as I wish it was. Also, Below Deck, totally caught up. I feel so much better about Mediterranean now. And my Netflix is working in my hotel room now, so I'm really excited.
Yes, Netflix.
As a friend that does IT that came in and like did her made her Netflix work in her hotel room because it was blocked by the internet monsters. I don't know how internet.
Oh my god.
Johnny Lee Miller and Hackers. That's
I have no idea what any of that is that you just said. I have no idea.
Have you guys not seen Hackers? Okay, Tim.
Oh wait, Hackers? With Angelina Jolie?
Yes, and Johnny Lee Miller.
Oh my god.
Yes,
I'm obsessed with like a 90s cyber thriller.
Any and all of them.
Absolutely. Oh my god, there was that
like
one with Ryan Phillippe. Oh my god, The Net. I love that. To this day, it's one of my favorite movies. I'm not gonna lie. Swim fan. I'm not as huge of a fan of that. I would prefer the original.
I love an Erica Christensen moment, though. She's so pretty.
Was it Jesse Bradford?
Jesse Bradford and Erica Christensen. Yes.
Yeah. I watched a documentary about Woodstock '99, which was a hot mess.
Oh,
really?
You do.
Yes, it's great. And I watched nothing. Oh, Ted Lasso is back on. I love Ted Lasso. And Schmigadoon on Apple TV. Apple TV, like everything Apple TV is what I'm into right now, period. So
I'm planning on watching that Sex/Life. I hear in the 3rd episode there's a lot to see.
I haven't watched it.
I also watched Cruella last night.
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cute.
It was good.
Yeah.
A lot of fashion.
Lots of fashion.
Yeah.
So I said before that the reason we have Tim on is twofold. So the first part is, of course, because he's fabulous. And the second part is that Tim and I, with appearances from Jewel Rocket Rose, will be hosting a podcast about the 90s.
Yes.
It's called As If, a podcast for 90s kids. And Jewel is currently going through our list of proposed topics to see which one she wants to be on.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk about movies and music and toys and TV shows and
everything iconic.
Everything iconic
with the 90s.
And this is like for 90s kids. So it's like those of us between the ages of, what would you say, 28 and 38? Like that.
I feel like that's being a little aggressive.
It's for everyone.
I would say 27 to 37 definitely know it.
It's the same span of time. It's
No.
10 years.
Absolutely.
I said 28 to 38. You said 27 to 37.
I think 38 is too old.
It doesn't matter. Anyone can watch our show.
Yeah.
In fact, we want you to. But it's a nostalgia show for people who
Anyway.
loved the 90s.
Anyone, even if you're younger and you want to, yeah.
You broke up there. Say it again.
I mean, I love talking to my younger friends and explaining to them what the world was like before like technology and stuff like that.
Oh my God, Jewel and I work with this girl, and she's fabulous.
Am I
she's
back?
21 years old. Yeah, you're on. Jewel and I work with this girl. She's 20.
I mean, I was talking to one of my younger friends.
Mm-hmm. That's you.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we work with this girl. She's 21. And she noticed that 2 people were wearing Aaliyah t-shirts at work the other day. And she's like, who's this Aaliyah person?
Oh my God, I died.
Oh, so did she.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, is it too soon?
Nope, it was
Never
hilarious.
too soon. It was a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're right, like our younger friends that and like these gays that we meet that are like 22, they have no idea.
Yes.
They have no idea.
I mean, I was talking to one of my younger friends, he's 23, and I was explaining the concept of magazines and how like essential they were, because you couldn't just like go Google, I used to be really into rap. Like I was really gangster, as you can imagine.
Natch.
And I would collect the Source magazine because it was like super cool and it had like Puff Daddy and like Mace on the cover.
And a little kid.
And I would just like peruse the magazine and I would pretend I was straight and I'd be like, look how like gangster I am, everyone. And
guys, Eve is so hot.
have you heard of EVE?
You guys haven't lived till you've heard Trina's
Oh my God.
album.
And I also collected Maxim magazine, which was like this kind of sexier magazine for men.
It was like
and
Playboy without tits.
Without nudity. Yeah. And I would rip pictures of Michelle Branch out of it and put her on the front of my binder. And she was like my beard. And then the funny thing is, I was in university. Right? Like, why Michelle Branch? Like, she's not like sexy whatsoever. She's like has no sex appeal, in my opinion, from a gay man. I mean, she's gorgeous. But you don't look at her.
Like, hot.
She's not like a pinup girl, She's like very pretty. And I was like, I can respect that beauty. Like, I can get behind that. But the funny thing is, I took Michelle Branch and I put her on my binder. I ran into a friend from university who was also in the closet, and he put a giant picture of Michelle Branch on his wall in his dorm room. And she was both of our beards, just like, how random is that we would both grab
like communicating through like, what do you call it when you like put something in a movie that's not like...
Subliminal?
There you go, thank you.
Yeah.
Like, she was
like
subliminally communicating to gays.
By the way, that was a great movie.
It was, with Parker Posey. Oh my gosh. But also, is that 90s? Because we should definitely go over that in the podcast too.
Yes,
but
100%.
But yeah, just like the fact, like Michelle Branch just has this air. Like she definitely would be like one to get down with the gays, I feel like. And maybe we picked up on that and we're like, put us under your branch. We'll grow under your branch,
She's
Michelle.
literally everywhere to us.
Oh my God, you guys are funny, but we have to get back to the topic at hand.
Oh yeah, we do
Yes.
talk about Buffy. It turns out this is a Buffy podcast.
Yes. So I did my homework. I just watched the 2 episodes, literally
Excellent.
1 second before signing on. So it's very fresh.
Let's dig in then. Our first episode we're going to talk about is called Tough Love. Buffy must step up as the authority figure for Dawn now that their mom is gone, all the while fearful that Gloria is closer to discovering the key when a member of the Scooby Gang is her latest victim. Bum, bum, bum.
Oh, honey.
So the show opens, Buffy is like going in and talking to her professors about the fact that she has to drop out of college because she's like, I have to take care of my sister because she's, this ancient key that opens dimensions and also our mom's dead. Normal college stuff.
So cliche.
So cliche. And she's like, I have more important priorities. At the same time, we see Ben, and Ben is the sexy doctor that we've had throughout the show.
Mm-hmm.
No, but Ben is even sexier now.
Yeah, Ben aged well.
I mean.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really well. He's on
that-
How to Get Away with Murder.
Yeah, he's the hot one on How to Get Away with Murder. The hot older
Oh.
Frank is the character's name on How to Get Away with Murder. Mm-hmm.
And he goes to work and figures out that he's
very,
been
very
fired.
that.
Yeah, he doesn't have a job because Glory has been in control of him for 2 weeks and he hasn't made it to work. And he's like, that's stupid.
I just don't understand why she gets to be in control. I thought he had the control.
They alternate, but for some reason his shit has been not as whatever. Anyway.
The hashtag acceptance moment that I'm just not prepared to deal with right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Glory is in the bath and she's demanding that the minions tell her everything they know about the key. She's like, just tell me everything and I'll figure it out. And in that scene when Glory's in the bathtub, drinking mimosas with her servants blindfolded, Jewel is like, I'm totally into this.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I was living for the monks.
Oh yeah, the monks are great.
I don't like them. They're They look dirty to me.
But you literally said you wouldn't even care if they wore a blindfold.
No, I wouldn't care if they wore a blindfold, but I would be very happy to be sitting there in the bath eating chocolates with flowers and music and people just waiting on me hand and foot. That sounds like a brilliant idea to me.
In a bathtub.
I don't care if I'm in the bathtub. Someone should be washing my hair.
Fair.
That's true. That's true.
So Dawn and Buffy get called into Dawn's principal's office and it's a parent-teacher meeting kind of situation.
Yeah, it was weird.
And they're like, Dawn has really bad grades. She's been skipping school, whatever.
Her mom just died. Can we all just chill out for a fucking second?
Yeah, thank you.
I was triggered.
And then she's like, I need to talk to your sister. Can you go to the other room? Which always ends well with Dawn. So we're back at the magic shop. Anya is talking. I love this scene. When Anya's like, I've realized that I'm more American than I thought I was because I'm a capitalist.
Yes.
I love it. I love Anya is such. What do you think about Anya, Tim?
Oh, she's one of my favorite characters. I love her awkwardness and her comedic timing. It's always the best. I also, in this particular episode, I didn't know what to think about her comment about the French because what did she say? She's not. They're not. What is it? She wasn't supportive of the French, and Canadians are partially French, so a little offended.
True.
I think we can all agree to disagree on this one.
Yeah, I mean the French are terrible, but Quebecois are so much worse. It's why are you speaking French? We're at an Applebee's.
Okay, if I were to be completely honest with you, I don't really like the French, you guys. I was just doing my patriotic duty, pretending that.
I don't think we have any French viewers. We can't say anything about Italians.
I don't know, but Naomi has just red flagged us and said the whole scene is offensive.
Yes. So Buffy goes and looks for Giles' advice about being Dawn's mother figure. She takes Dawn home and she's trying to be authoritative, and Dawn's like, why do I need to do homework? I'm just a key. What do you make care of a key gets education? Because that's what Dawn does. And Buffy's like, if you don't get an education, if you don't act like a normal fucking person, then I'm going to lose support of you and you're going to go in the foster system and it's going to be a Maury episode.
That was a lot.
It was a lot. But first she's like, but then you'll have to live with our dad. And it's what did he do?
You could live with our dad or in foster care. Okay.
I mean, Buffy's dad is not established as being this monster.
This other Facebook user agrees with you, Brandon. They hated Dawn here.
Yeah. She's not great in that scene. So anyway, Glory's minions give her all this information. And Glory's like, I got it. I know who the key is. Let's go get it. Then we see Tara and Willow in their dorm room, and Tara's like, you have so many powers and it frightens me, and Willow's like, you're afraid of me? And this is why
she took it to such another level.
I could never date women.
Oh, but that's totally 100% true. Did you really just not tell me or someone told me I was pretty, and I was like, listen, I know I'm not just pretty. Can you just let's accept what is and what isn't. It was a huge moment for me just because that was not what I wanted to hear from that person. Yeah.
And Willow's like, you think this is just a phase? I'm going to go back to boys, whatever. And it's like...
Oh, I loved that part. I was like, ooh, listen. Oh, Naomi said, I want to know all of Jewel's thoughts on that fight.
Which fight? The one with Gloria and Willow? Well, that's coming up. Oh, the fight with Dawn, Tara.
With Tara, their relationship fight, which is always much more fun than an actual physical fight.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that fight was a mess.
That was a mess. She accused her of, only playing in the lady pond and not committing. Wow, it was a whole moment.
So Buffy is talking to Dawn. We talked about that already.
And why do you have to commit? Why do you have to be only one or the other?
Oh, yeah, well, okay, today's generation, like the youngins.
I mean, like nowadays, I feel like if you were pressuring someone to be strictly...
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was a different time.
Yeah, they would be so offended by the fact that she was being forced to pick one or the other.
It was
I feel
tough
like
enough that they had a monogamous lesbian relationship on TV.
Absolutely.
Like, if they had to try to explain bisexuality to people in 1998.
I'm kind of jealous of people who are bisexual because you just have so many more options.
I don't know if that's true. They're still like particular what they want in certain ways. It's just not in gender ways.
Well, there's just a lot more to pick from. That's what I'm saying. It's like, We have a lot of bisexual followers, so let's go for it, girl. Have the most fun with it. I just...
Yeah.
I'm not, and I'm mad about it.
So Tara is like upset about her fight with Willow, and she goes to this cultural fair, which apparently is just like Chinese stuff on display in the middle of the quad at their college.
Yeah, that was a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, cultural appropriation, but also like culturally offensive, maybe.
Was it culturally offensive? It was just like, it was a cultural fair and there was Chinese stuff, but there was nothing else but Chinese stuff.
That's what I'm... Where are the other cultures?
Those are the two cultures in California.
That's it.
You're either white or Chinese.
That's it. Those are the only options available to you.
So Tara's like bummed and she's sitting on this bench and she feels like someone grabbed her hand. She thinks it's Willow and she looks over and it's Glory. Horrifying.
Oh my god, the scene was so intense.
It's so intense.
I was like grabbing as she grabs the hand and it starts to break. I was literally just sitting there like, oh my god, every single minute. Yeah.
Really? I was loving it. I can't stand Tara.
Oh my god.
I can't stand her.
Giles is in the shop, in the magic shop, and he's talking to, is it Anya he's talking to? Or
yes.
Willow? It doesn't matter. Anyway,
it doesn't matter. He was talking to a female.
He opens the door knowing that one of Glory's little minions is there, and he's like...
I feel like it would have to be Anya, though.
It was probably Anya.
Yeah.
He's like, go get the rope, and they're like, okay, and then you hear, like, breaking, and the guy's like, I'll tell you everything.
Giles is secretly, like, badass. He's doing a lot of things.
Oh, yeah.
I know what's coming.
Remember when you would see him in real life and he had his beard all grown out and he looked like super sexy?
Sexy.
No.
He had like an earring and like a...
And he did Rocky Horror for
What did I miss?
Oh, you have to go back and look at pictures of Giles outside of the show in that time period. He was like a little rebel.
Yeah. So Glory thinks that Tara's the key. She's breaking her hand. She's bleeding. She's like, come with me, whatever. And then she licks the blood and she's like, you are not the key. You're a liar. I hate when people lie to me. I love Glory in this scene. She's horrifying.
She's amazing. Glory was the best part, and I can't stand Tara, so I was ready for it. I was like, take her out. Take her out. But then I was like, Willow can't lose two people.
No, it would be a lot.
And they can't kill another person. I mean, today they would have killed her.
And then Glory's like, I'll let you go if you tell me who the key is. And Tara doesn't say a word. And so Glory puts her fingers in Tara's brain and makes her a crazy person. Because that's how mental illness works. Someone poked your brain.
I mean, isn't it just?
It's very, very true to real life.
Yes, exactly. So we're at the hospital again. We spent a lot of time at the hospital this season. It's like the #1 spot.
I know. Well, that's because I guess Ben had to have a life.
Exactly.
Ben had to have a reason for being on the show other than being just very pretty.
So these doctors are looking after Tara, and Willow is like, I'm going after Glory. And Buffy's like, you can't go after Glory because, like, she's going to kick your ass. And Willow's like, oh, okay, I totally won't.
Wink. Oh, and I love the part where she goes into the library to find the book of spells, and it's literally, what is it labeled? It's literally just labeled
Darkest Magics.
Darkest Magic.
Magics with a K.
DK.
The K makes it old school.
It's authentic. That makes it. It's real. It's authentic. Vintage. It's very, very that.
That's what the witches of yesteryear spelled magic with, a K.
And all along Dawn is with Spike in the caves, like, because Buffy trusts Spike to defend Dawn if Glory comes. So we're in the caves. Spike is like bruised and limping from this torture that he got from Glory, which Spike all bruised and limping is kind of sexy.
Yeah, that's fine, but also I thought he was like a vampire. Don't they like recover quickly?
Yeah, but that's how bad she hurt him, is it's taking that long to recover.
I feel like just because I feel like that's a stretch, Brandon.
Well, Dawn is blaming herself for all of this stuff. She's like,
as she should. She needs to calm her ass down and go do her damn homework.
And she's like, I'm a lightning rod for pain, which, by the way, is my Grindr profile. Yeah. And Spike is trying to comfort her.
Ooh, just an educational moment. Magic with a CK in reference to witchcraft is actually correct.
I know that because I had a book called Teen Witch when I was in high school because I thought I was Wiccan for a year.
Do you mean that Teen Witch with Robin Lively?
No, I do not. Top that.
Top that. I don't really give up about trying to stop that.
Not that Teen Witch. It was a book of spells for teenagers. It was ridiculous. But it was in like 1999, so it's like how to ward off Y2K, and I guess it worked.
Magic the K.
So Spike is Buffy comes and joins them, and Buffy's like, Willow is upset, but I told her, like, stay home, it's gonna be okay, read a book, listen to Etheridge.
And everyone looks at her like she's crazy. Because she is. Really, she's gonna stay home? Okay. And
I love Spike being like, I would do it. It's like, for the right person, I would do it. And I was like, oh, I love Spike.
I love Spike.
So Dawn is like, yeah, what would you have done if I was the one that got drained? And Buffy's like, oh, shit is real.
She's like, she's gonna get her.
Yeah. So.
And then Willow tries to fight, and she really tries
Oh
hard.
my god, she's great. When she floats in with the contacts, and like.
That was the best part, and then she got her ass handed to her.
Jewel went, oh my fucking god, when Willow floated into the room.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is the first time we see, like, pissed off Willow. Like, pissed off
Willow. Is angry.
For my money, it doesn't get any better than Willow pissed off, floating in a room with black eyes.
That is my aesthetic.
I had never in my life seen
throwing
such
a
thing.
Bag of daggers. Oh my god. Did anyone get turned on by that? Was it just me?
Incredibly aroused.
Yeah.
I mean... I
Very
was like,
S&M.
finally, bitch has a backbone because she really needs to stop with the baby talk.
And she's really pulling everything out. She's like, you're like you're in tar. And then she's like, and now, like, all this glass is shattered and your dress is ruined, bitch. And then she's like, I have a bag of knives. And then it's like, carpet snake. Like, you're, you can really see her going through her list and working her way from the good ones to the bad ones.
Yeah.
She's like, this is a backup plan of a backup plan of a backup plan.
Well, it turns out my fifth backup plan is to be brutally murdered.
But I do appreciate her having an A, B, C, D, E, and F plan.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But carpet snake probably shouldn't have made it.
At the end, you throw everything you got at him.
Right. So... Ben and Glory, I'm sorry, Ben.
I know what you are, but what am I? That carpet snake was.
Buffy shows up and fights Glory, and Willow puts up a force field, and they escape, and Glory's like, fuck you. So the next day, they're all, I believe they were in Willow and Tara's dorm room, right? That's what it looked like to me.
Yeah, they were in, a meltdown was happening.
And a whole lot was going on, and they're vroom-vrooming, here comes the airplane applesauce to Tara. And Glory shows up. When did she
leave the show at this point?
Glory shows up and straight up punches a hole through the wall, which is aggressive. And Willow and Tara's like, oh, it's bad things are happening. And then she looks at Dawn and she's like, there's so much light coming.
Yeah, Tara, shut the fuck up. Why didn't someone cover her mouth? I can't stand her. I get that she had been, affected by whatever Glory could have done to her. However,
I'm so happy you didn't work at a mental hospital.
I was gonna say, I'm so glad you're not like my caregiver or something in my moment of need.
It's not who you want me to be. I'm not good in medical situations. Period.
Clearly,
that's why I panicked and called Brandon. I was like, please come help me. I cannot drive all the way back by myself, and I will stop hitting my rings. I promise. I don't do well in medical situations, you guys.
And that's the end of this episode. So before we get to our final thoughts and letter rating on this episode, I have a little bit of trivia. First of all, there's a line that was cut where Willow defends her use of magic and says, "But it's good witch power, not bad witch power. You know, Glenda in a bubble power, not Margaret Hamilton on a bicycle power." Cute line. I don't know. I can see what I cut.
That's fine.
And that's pretty much what I got. The foreign language titles for this. The Czech title is Obety pro lásku, which means sacrifices for love. The French title is Magie Noire, which means black magic. That's a good title.
Whatever.
The German title is Götterdämmerung, which means Ragnarok. Okay.
And I just want to maintain, I'm not mad at Tara for having her mind messed with. I'm mad at Tara because I haven't liked her since day one. Go back through the entire series. I have disliked Tara from day one. I'm just ready for her to be off the show. I can't stop with
the Italian title is the last one I would do, because if we don't do the Italian title, then our Italian fans get mad.
Buongiorno. Principessa.
Contrasti di amore. Contrasts of love.
Well, then I'm going to go with that one since we have one Italian fan.
We have like 9 Italian fans.
We're
huge in Italy.
We have un bicchiere di Italian fans.
Anyway, so Tim, what we do at this point is we talk about our final thoughts on the episode and give a letter rating on how, and I don't know how it works in Canada, but in the US it's A, B, C, D, F, and then there's pluses and minuses. In Canada, maybe you're like oof or something.
We do 1, 2, 3, 4 in Canada.
Do you really?
Yeah.
I was totally kidding.
Well, I was in the Catholic school system, so it might be.
Okay. So Tim, why don't you give us your final thoughts, and we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4.
Wait, I feel like this is a 2-parter episode.
No, it's not.
It's not. Okay.
Tim, you're up first.
Tim, go.
Okay, final thoughts. Okay, first thing that's coming to mind is those like medieval men.
That's
black.
The next episode.
Oh, that was the next one. Okay,
we got one more to do. I
just mixed them all together in my head.
Yeah, it's all good.
Okay, so final thoughts. I remembered from when I was watching it the first time around this scene with Willow, because it was so memorable. Like when she pops in there and she's so badass and she's like channeling the power of darkness. I was living, and I was so happy we picked this episode for that reason. And even though she kind of ended up just throwing some fabric snakes by the end of it, but it was still like, good on you, good try.
It's the equivalent of those like peanut cans you open in the store.
Yeah, exactly. But also, like, I'm wondering, how did Buffy possibly think that she was not going to do anything? Like, okay, you just go sit over there. I'm going to leave you alone.
Everything's okay. Sorry they ruined your girlfriend's brain.
Yeah, exactly.
So on a scale of 1, 2, 3, 4, Catholic Canadian school style.
Her brain wasn't ruined. She is living. She operates differently now.
Abled.
Well, according to you, her brain was ruined from the get because you haven't liked her.
I fucking hate her.
Tim, what's your final?
Yeah. Okay. So on a scale of 1 to 4, 1 being an F, 4 being an A.
This is Canadian grading.
So,
we gotta work this out.
So I would give it a 3+, which is like a B+.
B+, A-. So
Oh, you guys are so wrong. I think this is barely a okay, so everything I liked about this episode was because of Glory. Glory, I think, brought it. Glory and Ben, I think, really gave it their all for this episode. I thought everything else was kind of lame. I can't stand Tara, so I was thrilled to see her go, even though I guess she's not like leaving forever. She's just not my favorite. I find her so mousy and hard to deal with. Okay?
Snowflake.
I'm mousy and hard to deal with.
I don't feel that she's a snowflake. I just feel like she's just like poor me. Okay, stand the fuck up, shut your mouth, and keep moving.
Jewel, what's your letter rating?
I'm gonna give this. I think it's a C+, B-. I don't think this is a great episode. I think I'm gonna give it a B-. I'm gonna stick with a B-. I thought Glory was great. I thought everything else was just, the last episode was so good that this is just like, I feel like.
So I'm gonna say I agree with you that Glory is the highlight of this episode,
Mm-hmm.
except that I think that Willow going like crazy cuckoo bananas and trying to kill her with magic is even better.
It was
pretty
still
epic.
a Glory scene and definitely B-
Yeah.
worthy, but I think that just being that scene that was good.
I thought the bit with Spike in the tunnels explaining to Dawn and Buffy that like he would have done this is great. I know,
but it was just like 0.5 seconds. It wasn't the meat of the episode.
I thought that Anya was great. I thought the stuff with Buffy and Dawn was pretty bad, but it always is. I think I like this episode because I know what's coming and I know what's being set up, which isn't really fair, but I'm going to give it a B+. So, before we talk about our next episode, we do have a Patreon, and our Patreon is patreon.com/GAC podcast, which will also be the home of our 90s podcast Patreon. So keep an eye out for that. It's $5 a month. You get exclusive bonus content. You can watch our videos live and comment live and tell us what you think. And Jewel can read all the comments that are about her.
I've shared a lot of comments.
So please come join us. It's $5. Less than the price of a cup of coffee.
You hate when I say that.
What?
I always say the coffee thing, and you're like, Jewel.
Well, we're talking about the 90s, so that's like from 90s, like Save the Children or whatever, commercial with Sally Struthers. Anyway.
You're dialing it all
join
the way
us,
back to
patreon.com/GAC podcast. Hey, let's talk about our next episode. Our next episode is called Spiral. Buffy explodes into action and takes the gang on the road once Glory discovers that Dawn is the key, with Glory on their trail blazing a path of destruction. While on the run, things happen fast. As Giles and Spike are wounded, Dawn learns that she has the power to destroy the universe, and Willow stays close to an incoherent terror. I did not write that summary. I don't know if I would have said incoherent. It's a little harsh. But yes.
That's an aggressive statement. I don't think she's incoherent. I just think she is... Actually, I kind of prefer her this way. She's less annoying than normal. I just don't like her.
You just like her with a very limited vocabulary. That's what you like.
I just want her to... I want the baby talk to stop, and I want them...
Their relationship's a little exhausting. I'll give you that. Yeah. So
She's
this
the new
episode...
Jenny Calendar. And I love Robia Smith.
Scott.
Jewel
hated Jenny Calendar to... Do you remember Jenny Calendar?
Yes. Oh my god.
Really
I love her.
I love her too. Jewel hated her and never really had a reason. She just decided she hated her, and that was that. So that's how it is with Tara. So Amber Benson, if you're watching, it's not about you.
Amber, it's not you. You're a phenomenal actress. And it's okay that I hate you in this show because it's your character. It is...
It's not
you're
you.
doing a
It's
great
the way
job.
you did your job.
No, it's not the way you did your job. She did it right because there should be visceral reactions to characters.
Okay.
But she's the most mild-mannered, like...
That's why I don't like it.
Yeah, she.
It doesn't vibe with who I am.
Jewel is used to watching like Dawson's Creek and One Tree Hill and shit, so she's used to shows where everybody is a drama queen 100% of the time. Or like the Canadian version, Degrassi.
Oh my god, stop. When Jake Epstein and Drake was on Degrassi, oh my god, I'd be still my heart.
No, everyone forgets that Jake was the wheelchair kid from Degrassi.
No. Jimmy was the wheelchair kid from
Degrassi.
That was Jake. Let's be clear. I have it on a t-shirt.
Drake will always be wheelchair.
Jake Epstein was in an American Idiot on Broadway and also played
Spider-Man.
the guitar.
And he was on Spider-Man on Broadway.
He was in Spider-Man on Broadway too.
Yeah, that hit.
I really only watched the original 80s Degrassi because I'm just like a little bit more authentic of a fan.
Yeah. You go way back. It's all about Degrassi and Jan
I don't
Arden.
want to hear about people who are named Spider and Snake. It's just not my jam.
Okay, it's called Spike. Her name is Spike, and she had a baby in high school.
We also literally have a Spike on this one.
That's fine.
Oh, there we go.
Yes.
Well, like, I can see it.
Nina Dobrev's character had a baby also.
Nina Dobrev was on...
Yeah, but...
Nina Dobrev was on Degrassi.
First of all, Spike in the 80s did it before it was cool, for one thing. But also with the Tara thing, I can see, like, your whole vibe. Because, like, the Angel character is very much, like, kind of like a pushover, as Tara kind of is.
Yeah.
That's the thing, right? You don't like the pushover character.
No.
Okay, anyway.
Okay.
This episode starts... in Xander's apartment. They're talking about the possible plans of action of what they're going to do. And Buffy's like, we're never going to be able to defeat Glory. It's time to run. And Spike shows up in a Winnebago with like tinfoil all over everything so he doesn't burst in flames.
I blame Brandon.
And Giles and Xander aren't happy that Spike is there, but Buffy's like, he's coming with us. He's our driver. He's the only one that can protect her. Shut the fuck up. We got shit to do. I love Buffy in that scene. Like, Buffy finally asserting herself and being like, I am the boss here. Shut up.
Yes, thank you.
It's great.
Side note, where can I get that leather jacket she's wearing? Like, it was
I love that
amazing.
leather
I don't
jacket.
think we need that. I don't think
But
we
yeah,
need to
she
bring
totally
that up.
asserts herself, and we're like, yes, let's go, girls.
Exactly.
But why is Spike wearing these glasses? What is that even functioning
Because
as?
I guess if the sun hits his eyes, it'll burn his
Because he looks
eyes.
fucking cool, all right? That's why. Hashtag acceptance. Back off, girl gang.
Okay, girl boss. All right.
Right? He does not look cool. He's wearing goggles.
Leave him
I'm getting
alone,
kicked off.
Leave him alone. Leave him alone. Leave him alone.
Okay,
I thought he
am
looked the
Team
antithesis of cool. Like,
That's okay for you. That's fine.
I did not think he looked cool.
I love that for you. I don't need it
I'm
for
with you,
me.
Tim. I thought he looked silly, but
That's because
fine.
you guys are silly. Back
That's
off.
fine. So Ben is talking to one of Glory's minions.
Thank you, Amy, girl gang.
Ben is talking to one of
Leave
Glory's
Spike
minions.
Yeah, it was like,
And the minion's like, you're just a human body encasing Glory's god form and whatever. I love that scene. She just keeps talking about how sexy he is.
He is though. Can
He
he?
really
Come
is.
on, Ben.
You didn't used to think he was sexy until you realized he was the guy.
Until I realized who he was, and now he just looks so much better. Because I thought at first he kind of looked a little bit like Lindsay, and also like a little bit like
Parker a little bit. The guy that she had the
yeah,
one-night
like
stand with.
Parker
Yeah.
a little bit, but also a little bit like George O'Malley from Grey's Anatomy.
TR Knight.
TR Knight, a little, just a touch.
Except, yeah, I mean, he's a doctor.
He's a doctor. He wore the scrubs and he had curly hair.
Yeah,
That's it.
true. So Ben is talking to this minion, and the minion's like, "You'll serve your purpose, and like, unfortunately, you have to disappear, but like, it's
Okay.
great because Glory comes."
but she was such a sweetheart. The minion,
She was really
like,
nice.
I wanted her to be like my friend.
To help you destroy the world.
Like, well, yeah, obviously, as you do.
So these knights come back, and these knights have been in and out of the show, but we've mostly ignored them. Like, we do not talk about them on the show because they're so stupid and they serve no purpose. So we're just going to continue with that.
The Knights.
They were very much, yeah, they were very much taking me out of the illusion. Like, I could tell, like, their chainmail was like very not real.
It's
but
never been good.
Yeah.
And
I'm just saying it's not the 17, it's not the 16, 15, 1500s. It's just
not the
no one is
Crusades.
wearing that shit now, okay?
I
Not
know.
in Arthur. It's not Camelot. Why are we even pretending? If this is supposed to be in the 90s, chainmail wasn't hot then either.
yeah, so these knights show up and they get their member out of the hospital, this guy Orlando, and like they're ready to stab that poor nurse that was like the receptionist because she wanted her pen back.
It's just stupid.
Yeah. So
It's like they were like, we had all these extras booked. We might as well do something.
yeah,
with them.
exactly. Yeah, the union requires that we have a minimum of 35 guys in chainmail.
I mean, that sounds like a party I went to last weekend, actually.
It does. I know. So Giles is back in the RV, and he's talking to Xander, and Xander's like motion sick, which is something that disappears immediately because that's how storytelling works. Buffy is like comforted by Dawn, and Dawn is like, "You're great. You're doing a great job. Whatever." And then she's like, "Things couldn't get worse." Arrow comes into the thing. The swords are coming into the Winnebago. When Spike grabs the sword and it cuts open his hands, and he's just like doing a good thing. He's just a good guy.
I love Spike. That's why I'm saying he can wear goggles if he wants to. Go swimming, baby. Go swimming.
And someone throws a spear, and it impales Giles, and the RV crashes, and the Scoobies go to this like gas station that's abandoned. It looks like every gas station we passed on the way from Los Angeles to Las Vegas today.
Oh my god, I didn't love that.
And Buffy is like fighting off the attackers. Willow does this spell that puts up like a force field. And then we're back at the hospital. All the crazies in the crazy ward that has a vending machine are going on about like, it's time. And they break out of their
Yeah, they take down that nurse.
shackles. Do they still shackle crazy people?
I don't think you're allowed to say any of those things.
People?
People? Are they people?
No.
I did watch Designing Women the other day, and there's a bit where Julia's like, in the South, we don't ask if there's crazy people in your family. We ask what side they're on.
Oh.
That's that one.
No.
So-
Naomi says restraints are still definitely a thing.
Fun. Well,
Why do you know that?
that's exciting. So Spike suggests to Xander that they run, but Buffy's like, we're not letting anyone die. She captures the general, and he's like the leader with the forehead tattoo that will never have a real job.
Why was that the choice, though?
Because the Knights are dumb. There's no hashtag acceptance. They're just dumb.
Like, I didn't know you could get dumber than Riley and his friends.
Yeah. But they exist entirely to tell us, first of all, Graham was really hot.
Which
Riley's friend Graham.
Well, that's fine, but at least they were dumb too.
So they tell Buffy that Glory used to rule over this hell dimension as like part of this group of these other two gods that were like ruled over suffering and despair of their entire dimension, whatever. But then she tried to like outgrow them, so they kicked her out and imprisoned her in this body of this human, which is Ben.
What I'm hearing is that Glory tried to outgrow two men, and she was stifled and shoved.
In fact, we don't. Glory's not even necessarily a woman. Like that's not.
They gender identified in this show, okay. So I'm just saying. They did it. I did not.
So Glory got trapped inside this body, and she was meant to be dormant the whole time, but she figured out how to break out of her little prison thing. And Buffy realizes that her only weakness is if they kill the mortal that she's possessing. That's the only way to kill her. Something that Jewel just got. So GrrArghCast explains that Glory's host has never been found. They have no idea who he is, whatever. And he's like, Dawn exists to open this gateway between these dimensions, and Glory's going to use that power to go back home, but that'll also cause chaos, and all the dimensions will bleed together, and they'll all get destroyed, and whatever. And Buffy's like, I promise I'll protect you, Dawn. So Buffy realizes that Giles is like super injured.
I get this now.
Yes. So
you're saying there's a connection between Ben and Glory?
Yes.
Got it.
So Buffy realizes that Giles is injured, and she calls Ben, and she's like, hey, you're the only doctor I know other than all these doctors that worked on my mom, but okay. And she's...
You're the hot doctor that flirted with me. Will you come save my friend?
Exactly. We were going to get coffee. And she, like, works out a deal with the Knights so that they'll allow a door to open in this force field, which doesn't make any fucking sense, but okay. So Ben like stabilizes Giles, and then he's alone with the general, and the general's like, listen, you're an outsider, help me kill this little girl, we'll save every dimension, everything will be great. And Ben is like kind of toying with, it seems like he's considering killing Dawn. He fills up that needle and he like walks toward her, and he's speaking ominously, and the music is swelling.
I know, I thought he was going to do something serious.
It was like a red herring thing, and then he gives Giles a shot, and Giles is fine now because that's how shots work. And
BJ was not a fan of how that whole hypodermic needle situation went down.
Me neither.
No.
So then Ben is like, oh no, like it's happening, she's coming, like let me out, she'll be here, she's coming, and then turns into Glory.
But so hot, by the way.
So hot.
Good outfit.
Yes. Glory looks hot in boy clothes.
Yeah.
But Ben looks hot in girl clothes too, but that's just a different thing.
Wow.
Glory is like, oh hey GrrArghCast, and then she throws that, and she's like, oh there GrrArghCast. Our internet's getting a little skippy, but we should be good. So Glory fights off the Scooby Gang. She takes Dawn. She busts through the force field. Willow is like working on releasing the field. She gets it released, and they go outside. And Glory killed every one of the Knights without us even seeing it.
No, because she just looked at them and they died.
Exactly. And everyone heads for Ben's car to chase Glory, but Buffy is like shattered and on the ground and just can't move. And that's the end of this episode, and leads us into the next one, which we'll cover soon. Before we get to our final thoughts on this one, the scene where the Knights attack the Scoobies in Winnebago is an homage to the 1939 Western film Stagecoach, a movie I've never seen.
Yeah, it looked stupid too.
Apparently in the first draft of the outline for the script, the opening scene where Buffy's trying to escape from Glory with Dawn was huge. It was a 10-minute escape scene. Buffy gets smacked into a tree that's 100 feet away, and she beats Glory with a sheared off lamp pole.
Why didn't I get to see that?
There was like big action, and Joss Whedon read it and said, this is great, this is wonderful. Kubrick couldn't film this in 20 days with $5 million, so cut everything. So that was going to happen in this script. That would have been fun.
And that is why we got all the Knights are dead when you walk outside.
We can afford to have dead Knights. We can't afford to show them dying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
our foreign titles real quick. The German title is Auf der Flucht, which means on the run. The Hungarian title is Visa az Alleger, which means back to the top. And the Italian title is Spirale di Violenza, or Spiral of Violence. All right, we're going to let Jewel go first this time. Jewel, final thoughts and letter rating on the Buffy episode Spiral.
This one's better. I give it a B+. I didn't hate it.
Even with the Knights?
I just pretended they didn't happen because they died so fast.
Okay. Tim.
They were like the highlight of the entire episode.
The Knights?
Okay, so the highlight of this episode was the Knights dying for me. Yeah. I was so glad to get rid of them.
Yes.
I love the moment where Glory threw the like hubcap at the captain or whatever you call him.
Yeah.
That was a good dying.
Yeah, I would give it. I didn't really like the episode that much. I have to be honest. I thought it was a little bit boring. I mean,
Glory better than the rest.
I would probably give it a C, to be honest. About a C, yeah.
Yeah.
Because we need more Tara.
The Knights were terrible. The stuff with like get Tower was terrible. It wasn't a good episode. I would give this. Yeah, I'll go with you on this one, Tim. Let's say C.
Yeah.
It was average and forgettable, and I'm happy the Knights are gone, and I know that the next 2 episodes are better because we don't have to deal with the Knights.
But then we did learn a lot about Dawn. We learned about Dawn and her story, and honestly, like after knowing that's the power of Dawn, I don't know if I would be keeping her alive, to be honest. Like,
right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, but that's my argument through the rest of the season. It's just killer.
I'm really questioning Buffy's abilities to be a Slayer at this point, to be honest.
All right. Well, that's
she is an emotional person, and that is why I think
she's a woman. No kidding.
We will be back.
No, I'm kidding.
It is a woman's prerogative to change her mind. Damn it.
I'm absolutely joking. By the way, viewers.
Of course we know. We'll be back with our next episode where we talk about the episodes The Weight of the World and the season 5 finale, The Gift, sometime later this week. We're working that out now. So, Tim, thank you so much for joining us. And a reminder, Tim can be found on Instagram at 60 Days Six Pack, all numbers.
Yeah.
Tim and I will have our 90s podcast up and going very soon, as if a podcast for 90s kids.
And just a quick plug for my Instagram. What you're going to find on my Instagram is a lot of really quick, fast, and easy 5-minute, 5-ingredient meals that you can make when you don't have any time, but you still want to eat healthy. That's what we're doing over there.
Nice.
And I'm looking forward to the 90s. I can't wait to talk about...
Tim, can you do a series about what I can cook that's healthy in a hotel room with just a NutriBullet and a microwave?
Okay, I would go for a microwave sweet potato. Have you tried it?
Mm-hmm.
You can just take a fork, poke a bunch of holes in a sweet potato, pop it in the microwave 5 minutes, throw some cottage cheese on there, some black beans out of a can. That's a healthy, high-protein snack ready in minutes right there. Hello.
Oh my God, I'm starving. Let's do it.
Speaking of putting a fork in it, we are done with this episode. Naomi, thank you so much. Our social media / graphics guru, Naomi. She's always amazing. Thank you, BJ, for hosting us for this podcast.
Thank you, Jewel, for being here.
Thank you, Jewel, for being here, even though you didn't want to be, and I had to drag you by your teeth. Bye.
And thank you, Brandon, for coming with me.
GrrArghCast.
Bye.
I'm gonna hit it. I'm gonna hit the end broadcast.
Well, you have to do it twice.